Welcome back to Tansson TV Plus. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Mom.
Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Yep, thank you for joining us again.
Yeah, we always love doing this. And Mom, how are you doing today?
I'm doing just fine, Brandon. How are you doing?
All is well here.
That sounds good. Are you excited to talk about S.H.I.E.L.D. again today?
I am. Are you?
I am, Brandon. And for you guys keeping up with us, we are now on episode 4, and this one is called I Spy. Brandon, when did this one come on?
This one came on October 15th, 2013.
All right, and just to give a little background, as I kind of mentioned in some of the other episodes, Brandon has wanted me to watch S.H.I.E.L.D. all the way through for quite a while. So we've decided we're going to tackle season 1. And every Wednesday or Thursday, we will put out an episode in regards to S.H.I.E.L.D. You ready to talk about episode 4?
You can go right ahead, Mom.
All right, just to give a little general information about this particular episode. Let's see, this is really about a former Shield employee who is being controlled to complete destructive acts. Coulson would like to help her since he trained here years ago. The team tries to figure out who is actually controlling her, and she's actually controlled in essence by an implant in her eye. And so that in itself is the episode. And so I don't want to give too many details because we want you guys to watch the episode too. All right, Brandon, what do you want to talk about with this?
Yeah, well, first of all, I definitely encourage those tuning in to watch the episode with us, provide some commentary without spoilers in the comments. But yeah, I definitely thought this episode was able to sort of ramp things up just a little bit and provide some interesting insights to another one of Shield's miscellaneous cases and a little bit about Coulson.
Yeah, this one actually was more so about Coulson than anything. And not necessarily Coulson in the sense of he was the firm person in this episode, but more so about his background. And so from here, we learned that and we learned a lot from Aquila in this episode in regards to Coulson. We learned that Coulson did train. I mean, we know he's training now, so he was a trainer. We learned that Aquila claims that Coulson has changed, and she says that several times that he's changed. She says, and we learned that he's been given a second chance, and that part came from Coulson. And he makes a comment about peace is good. He also says that he values odd old things.
Emma, I'm glad that you were able to let's observe some of that about Coulson and what they were saying about him. And did we learn anything else about some other characters?
Yeah, we learned very little about the other characters. I will say this: these are observations that I made. With Sky, we actually get to see more of her hacking skills, and we can see how much she knows about hacking and what she's able to do. From May, we learned that she wants to do more combat scenes, and so we're able to see more of her combat skills in this particular episode. Even though Coulson does say to her that she does not need to do this. I guess at this point, maybe she just feels the need to show that she can do this, whether or not to herself or to Coulson. And so we get to see more of those scenes here. And then from Fitzsimmons, and I'll talk about them because you got me for not talking about them last time. We can see that they actually have some operation skills. So in this particular episode, they were able to perform an operation, and which is kind of sort of interesting to watch. Of course, I saw it with one eye, but it was, but they were able to perform an operation on someone. And so that's what we kind of learned from the characters this week, or at least I thought. All right, Brandon, did I leave anything out?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I know from my observations is one I've noticed that we're going to a lot of different locations, especially before the intro starts.
Yeah, we are. This time we were in Sweden. So, yeah, we've been in Peru, and I can't remember the other places where we've been. But you're correct. We've been to a lot of different locations.
Yeah, and so I definitely thought that was quite interesting, just because I don't fully remember all the graphs of that. For those who are new to tuning into our discussions, I've seen the series all the way through, but yeah, I don't remember all of the stuff with the locations, so that's definitely interesting. I thought it was fascinating, and I like that we were able to sort of really dive into the complexities of the one-off characters. Like that in this case, Aquila wasn't really a villain per se. Maybe not a good person, but somewhere in that middle.
Yeah, she was not a good person. However, although they said that she was being controlled by someone else to make her do these things, um, but it'd be interesting, and I don't know if they were going to bring her character back or not, but she would be an interesting one to tackle since she actually has history with Coulson. And so, kind of like I mentioned last time, I think they're just kind of using these character to these other storylines to kind of help you understand the main characters in the plot.
Yeah, I know while we're watching, you had just probably, like I said, asked if all this is building up. So I think you're sort of, I guess, seeing some things build on each other. Like, what type of things are you seeing?
Well, more so, I'm just seeing the characteristics of the main characters as they are building up on them, and so that's what I'm kind of fascinated by now. Because at the end, you see that they have focused on either a particular skill set or a particular character to kind of show how that will kind of take effect later in the episodes, or at least I think so.
And so, thus far, within this fourth episode, who would you say that the series has focused on and perhaps has not focused on at this point?
I think Fitzsimmons to me are just characters that I don't pay attention to, and I don't know why. I just don't pay attention to them. So I don't think they are doing playing that the series is putting a lot of focus on them. But I can see how they're putting a lot of focus on Sky and how they're putting a lot of focus on Grant and May and for Coulson also. But Fitzsimmons to me, they are not doing much for them, besides of course showing that they're scientists and that they're great at their job.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember when I was at this point, I was also thinking too. It's like, okay, are we going to see a little bit more to them? I do see that they gave Fitz a little fun, playful scene. A couple of them within this episode, and then we get to see that Simmons actually gets to put her medical degree to use.
Yes, yeah, we did get to see that.
But that being said, I mean, that's really all we've seen of them thus far, and so. Like I said, I don't remember all of the specific details of the season, but I'm kind of curious to see how they continue progressing forward. Like I said, with the both of them, and something that I know that I remember from watching this the first time, that was to me a standout of this episode was actually the dynamic between Sky and Coulson.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing to watch. He is bonding with her, and we don't know why, but I mean, and it's not a bad thing. He just is really bonding with her, and he's spending a lot of time. And he's even though, to me, he's not necessarily training her in the traditional sense, but he's using her expertise to kind of help whatever mission that he has. The training's really coming from Grant, but the expertise, he's looking for some out of the box thinking, and I think she's able to do that.
Yeah, and I can definitely see that May has her reservations in regard to having Sky even on the plane.
Yeah, she really does have her reservations about her.
But yeah, and I will say, now that we are one episode above where we were last year, I know last year you had mentioned who your favorite character was at the time, but before I remind the audience of who that is, who would you say that you most look forward to in present day?
Oh, it's always Colson. So I do. I look forward to Colson. Um, I mean, I like Grant and Sky. I do like their dynamics together too.
Yeah, I really like them as well. I know your answer for this time last year was, first of all, of course, Colson always will be Colson, but after that, you would say Grant Ward.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, and it remains the same. So we'll see if that continues on. If I continue on with that track.
Yeah, but overall, like I said, I'm excited for us to continue diving into the show, and one of the things I would love for us to do is just, I mean, be able to continue having these conversations, and because there's also so much sort of behind the scenes and little fun snippets too, is that I do want to show you the Marvel one shot short film, Item 47, that helped inspire sort of ABC to pick up the show.
Oh, that'd be great. So we will eventually watch that, Brandon.
Yeah, and so it's only a few minutes long, and I believe it's also found on Disney Plus.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Well, we thank everybody for watching today.
And we'll look forward to seeing you next time.
All right, have a great day, everybody.